So if you've been recording for any amount of time at all, you have probably heard SSL, API, Neve as sort of the three big sounds approaches to consoles and recording in the industry. And you might be wondering, what do they sound like? Do they sound different? Can I hear the difference? Does it matter? Is one better than the other potentially? And that's what we're going to explore today for a little bit. So if you don't know me, I'm Josh Bonanno. I mix records here in Nashville, Tennessee. And let's dive into Pro Tools and explore some sounds. So, I don't own an SSL console, I don't own a Neve console, and I don't own an API console. So, we're going to use the next best thing, which is just some emulations within Pro Tools that can kind of give us an idea of, what these things sound like. So, the tool of choice of how I'm going to do that is Slate Virtual Mix Rack. They have their virtual channel consoles, and I actually really enjoy using these for many reasons. The main one being they're really easy to group all the plugins together. So changing this one knob will change the plugin across multiple instances of the session, which I find really useful for this, which we'll talk about in a second. But there's many other options out there. If you don't have Slate, you can use Waves makes a great one called NLS Bus. The Kazrog True Iron is something very similar. There's tons of these plugins that emulate saturation of a console in different styles and eras. So a few things before we dive into it. The first being, you'll notice I'm using just simply a saturation box. When you start to obviously add in, different components that these consoles had, things like, the EQ section or the compression section, that will obviously continue to add to the color of the sound that these consoles are producing. But today, I'm really just interested in understanding the color palette that having extended amounts of tracks run through an SSL style console versus an API console versus a Neve console can really kind of shape the sound without any other processing, if that makes sense. So we're really just looking at the baseline sort of palette or shape that these consoles impose upon the big picture of a record. And that's also to say that as you can see here, we're going to be looking at the 4K, the 4K-G, 4K-E, the USA, which is our API model, and the Brit-NE, which is our Neve model. But you'll notice there's two other options here as well. SSL, API, and Neve are not the only consoles that have been made in the world, right? There's very many different takes, and you can see that, represented here. This, I believe, is the Trident, which is really sort of a different thing in general, and then this is like a tube console, so it's something that's very old, like pretty much the first kind of console to ever come around. Abbey Roads, you'll see that kind of name thrown around a lot. That's your tube console essentially. So I'm not going to dive into those today because they're, I feel like, maybe a little less popular in the grand scheme of debate of the big three: SSL, Neve, API. So, but feel free to explore and understand that there are many different approaches throughout the years to consoles. There's modern things, and even within SSL, Neve, and API, there's very many different reiterations of these consoles, and they all are different, right? So while the main sort of brain and idea behind their approach to audio and circuitry is generally pretty much the same as a company, each console is going to sound very different, and you've heard many people talk about that over the years of this console is really special. This is the one. I've used many other ones, and there's just nothing like this. And that's because there's a lot of idiosyncrasies that happen. And that leads me to the final thing, and then we'll listen a little bit. Is the real magic that happens with these consoles is the idea that you have 96 tracks or however many channel strips the console has. It adds up over time, right? If we were to compare just an acoustic guitar with just simply a Neve saturation version of it and an SSL channel strip, you probably aren't going to hear any difference at all, to be fully honest. But when you do that over hundreds of tracks, or even just as we're going to look here, 6 buses essentially, that's where you start to hear the palette sort of add up and create a sonic coloration that creates the landscape of what these consoles do. So with that said, I have, the session looks a little scary because it is a session currently. But what we're going to be looking at today is these 6 orange buses down here, which are just my main like subgroup buses. And this is how I actually really do like to work in a session is I have, virtual mix rack on all these, and then I have them all grouped. So you'll see if I turn the knob on one of them, it turns on all of them. And I like that because I can drive it and kind of audition different consoles to see which one really fits the music and works. So I will stop talking now and let's take a listen, and then we'll kind of debrief and talk about what we heard. So to start, I'm going to just bypass these. I have the chorus on loop. This is a song from Jervis Campbell, who incredibly talented, just came out a couple weeks ago. Definitely check it out. So let's take a listen. Here's bypass, and then I will enter, and I'll just do a quick little scan through a few of them, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, here we go.
Come on, lay your light shining down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing. Come on, lay your light shining down. I just wanna get out. I just wanna get out. Come on, lay your light shining down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing. Come on, lay your light shining down. I just wanna be found. I just wanna be found. Come on, lay your light shining down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing. Come on, lay your light shining down. I just wanna get out. I just wanna get out. Come on, lay your light shining down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing. Come on, lay your light shining down. I just wanna be found. I just wanna be found.
Okay, there we go. So if the first thing you're thinking is, Josh, I don't even really hear a difference, that's really subtle, you would be correct. It's subtle, right? And that's why I said, we only have 6 tracks here. You could very easily put this across, the entire mix of, however many tracks there are in this one, 30, 40, 50. And you might get a more colored sound. It might get more dense. It might be, so, feel free to experiment with that, but also understand that it is subtle. It's subtle. It's not, night and day difference here like you might expect. And, definitely listen on good headphones or studio monitors, to really make a decision on understanding this sort of thing. And then again, like I said before, once you start adding in, if you decide Neve sounds great, and then you start adding like Neve style EQs and compressors within that, that's going to continue to add to the layers of depth that it brings to the palette of the Neve style, right? And that's where it's fun that you can mix and match nowadays in modern technology as well. But understand that we're talking small moves here. But understanding what the overall palette is that these things bring, I think is really important, because it's a tool that you can kind of have in your toolbox to understand of how you can really shape a mix by simply doing this, really, of just having, one plug-in and turning a knob and going, oh, there is more bottom end immediately, or, oh, it does feel a little more like boomy, or it's a little tighter, a little more extended. And that's what I'm going to kind of weigh in currently right now, of just what I hear when I do that, and what I like about these, and what maybe I dislike, or why I reach for one versus the other. So with that said, when you first, put it in from the group bypass, you definitely notice a little bit of a jump in volume, I think. And that's because we're adding saturation, we're adding color, and that's great, and that's okay. You could probably compensate for that with the in and out. I'm okay with it being, just a hair louder, because I understand that's what's going to happen, and I am, enjoy the little bit of perceived loudness. So I'm cool with that. I typically end up feeling like I land a lot of times on either the SSL E or the SSL G. So let's listen to the difference between those really quick, and see if we pick anything out that is maybe audible or different. So here's the SSL E, where 95% of the time I'm on SSL E. So
come on, lay your light shining down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing. Come on, lay your light shining down. I just wanna get out. I just wanna get out. Come on, lay your light shining down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing.
Okay, so sort of like tasting fine wine, there's really maybe not a right or wrong answer here, but to me, when I hear the E, it's a very modern extended. I hear a lot of air and I hear a lot of like bottom end extension. It feels flat for what it is. It feels true to what I think the sonics are going into it. When I go to the G, I lose a lot of that top end like air extension. It feels like things get a little more narrow. The bottom end kind of goes away, and it kind of comes from being like a flat picture to being a little more like narrow mid focused, which is pretty nice occasionally, because on like a rock song, something where you want it to feel kind of really dense and held right here, and you don't always need like that pretty airy stuff up top, it can really condense a mix nicely. So listen to that. I'm gonna go between the two again real quick and listen for just the real top end sort of like shimmery airy stuff. We're using really technical terms today, guys, and some of the really extension bottom. And then when I go to G, listen to how it just like compacts a little bit. It feels like, again, this is my experience with it. You might feel something different.
Come on, lay your light shine down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing. Come on, lay your light shine down. I just wanna get out. I just wanna get out. Come on, lay your light shine down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing.
Yeah, I'm definitely hearing that. And it's honestly a cool vibe for this song, if that's kind of the route you want to go in the sonic palette. So again, another amazing thing to listen for. So let's go to the Brit Neve now, and let's listen to that. I'm going to go from just the Brit G where we are now, and we'll go to the Neve. So what you're going to hear with this one is it's going to blow out the bottom end a decent amount. To me, it gets pretty fat in the bottom. The top end narrows maybe a little bit. It's got a nice character up top still, but what you're really going to notice is like listen to the kick and the bass. Like it feels like it pumps a decent amount more. So let's hear that.
Come on, lay your light shine down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing. Come on, lay your light shine down. I just wanna get out. I just wanna get out. Come on, lay your light shine down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out.
Yeah, when I go to the Neve, it almost feels like the vocal like goes backwards and the kick and bass come up here like forward, and then when I go back to the SSL G, it feels like the vocals back up front and he's like commanding the show. And then the Neve again is like, oh no, the drums like bass, they're commanding the show now, which is really great. I actually use the Neve on bass a lot because it can blow the bass up in a really nice way. Like I'll use just the Brit Neve on just my bass channel, and drive it pretty hard, and it does a really nice thing on bass. Again, we're maybe getting a hair louder. The Neve I feel like does get a little bit louder than the other modules, but again, a really useful sound for what you're going for. I tend to not love Neve sounding things across like the entire mix. Call me crazy. I'm just not a really like Neve guy for some reason. But it's an incredible tool understanding what that does. So one more time we'll listen and then we'll go to the API.
Come on, lay your light shine down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing. Come on, lay your light shine down. I just wanna get out. I just wanna get out. Come on, lay your light shine down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing. Come on, lay.
Yeah, cool. Again, we're talking subtle moves here. Like, this is not making or breaking the sonics of anything. We're not saving a mix here. This is just a nice little tool to have in your toolbox for later, for when you really want like that final little 1, 2, 5% thing, or just a way to maybe kind of create a sound that has a sonic landscape that is your mix in theory. It's kind of gluing it all together. So the final one we're going to look at is API, which this has a built-in API and we'll listen to it. I don't love the API that is set up in here. Sound. What I do actually enjoy, which is maybe a little bit of a hack, is the API module in the EQ. If you don't touch any of the EQ, but you have just the op amp on, I think that does a really good job at creating an API sound, which, without getting too nerdy into the circuitry, the API sound is the op amp. And we'll hear that in a second. But what the API op amp thing does is it gets pretty aggressive in the upper mid range, and it can be pretty forward in that. The give and take though is I feel like there's like a hollowness that happens somewhere like in like the low end, low mid thing suffers, I feel like. So we'll listen to this in a second just so you can kind of compare and maybe use this, for your own hack later. But let's start back with the virtual mix track just to keep it all in one place. So I'm going to actually go from the Brit G again, SSL G console, to the API to compare that way. So here we go.
Come on, lay your light shining down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing. Come on, lay your light shining down. I just wanna get out. I just wanna get out. Come on, lay your light shining down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing. Come on, lay your light shining down. I just wanna be found. I just wanna be.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is it does a kind of nice thing to the voice and kind of the demandingness of the guitars and like pulling it like a little more in your face, but listen to the bass guitar, like the 100 hertz sort of like fatness of like the bass, and even some of the kick is really gone. It really goes away, and it kind of just trades that back. So here we go again.
Come on, lay your light shining down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing. Come on, lay your light shining down. I just wanna get out. I just wanna get out. Come on, lay your light shining down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing.
Yeah, so I find myself rarely using API for that reason. It could be great on drums. People seem to like it on drums. It's just not a sound that I feel like I resonate with, but it's interesting. Again, it's a tool in the toolbox to know that if you have a mix that maybe has too much bass or like boomy, you could simply just turn that knob across the whole mix, and it's like, oh, it's locked in. It feels good now. So I'm going to do a quick just bypass on all those, and then let's hear what this one sounds like instead with the API. So we can actually, we can do an A-B this way, so.
Come on, lay your light shining down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing. Come on, lay your light shining down. I just wanna get out. I just wanna get out. Come on, lay your light shining down. I've been stuck in these clouds, just wanna get out. I'm singing. Come on, lay your light shining down. I just wanna be found. I just wanna be found.
Yeah, there's something about the FGA EQ with just the op amp that feels a little more rich and a little less like murky for some reason. And I might just be driving this one a little harder than what that one's getting driven as well. So there's room to play. But again, once you understand these differences and understand sort of the science of what makes them different, that's how you can understand that the op amp on that is a large part of the sound. And again, understanding the sounds of these things might make you reach for an SSL style EQ over a Neve, because again, these components are all sort of interplayed into the sonics and the circuitry of each unit. So understanding what the SSL sound is versus the Neve sound versus the API can be helpful in choosing things. And it also helps when new modern gear comes out, right? Because a lot of times you probably see, a new piece of gear and it's based on the 1073 or it's based on an API 550 or something. So like understanding the ideology behind it can help you put it into perspective of understanding like what, they were like going for the like big bottom thing. Is that something I desire or like? So anyway, I hope you found this useful. You also could think I'm crazy. You could be like, Josh, nothing was changing the whole video. I didn't hear anything, and that's okay. That's great. Let me know in the comments. I will happily read them and we can chat about it. Or maybe you have a different idea and maybe you think like, Josh, that's crazy. I didn't hear the low end change, but like the stereo width went away entirely or something. And I'm open to hearing that too, because again, I like doing this type of thing. It's kind of like tasting fine wine, and it's like, I taste notes of cherry and I get, whatever else, chocolate. There's no right or wrong answer. It's your experience, and it's just having fun with it, and it's understanding, this is a tool, and it's in my toolbox, and when I'm ready for it, I have it. Just like how, when I have a special occasion, I have a bottle of wine, and that's the perfect one because it pairs perfectly with steak. I don't know. I really don't even drink wine, so I don't know why I'm talking about it. But anyway, thanks for joining me on this journey. I appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this. So, anywho, till next time, peace.